Welcome to Dreamland Tales, where every night is a new adventure. The story of the day is The Fox and the Grapes, a story of contentment. In a quaint countryside, where rolling hills met clear blue skies, lived a clever fox. This story begins on a warm summer day, as the fox wandered through the lush fields and dense forests, always on the lookout for his next adventure. The countryside was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves. The fox, with his sleek red fur and bright, curious eyes, trotted along a well-worn path. He paused occasionally to sniff the air, enjoying the fresh scent of wildflowers and the promise of a new day. As the fox made his way through the countryside, he came upon a beautiful vineyard. The vineyard was vast, with rows of grapevines heavy with ripe, juicy grapes. The sun glistened off the grapes, making them look incredibly tempting. The fox's mouth watered at the sight of the grapes. He eagerly approached the first row of vines, but to his dismay, the grapes were hanging just out of reach. The fox stood on his hind legs, stretched as high as he could, but the grapes remained elusive. Determined to taste the sweet grapes, the fox tried various tactics. He leapt into the air, snapping his jaws, but came up short. He even tried climbing the wooden trellis, but his paws couldn't find a good grip. The more he tried, the more frustrated he became. After several attempts, the fox sat down to catch his breath. He looked up at the grapes, now seeming even higher than before. His stomach growled in hunger, but his pride was also on the line. He was a clever fox after all, and he didn't want to be outsmarted by a bunch of grapes. As the fox sat there, he started to think about all the wonderful things he had seen and done that day. He remembered the cool, refreshing stream he had crossed, the delightful scent of the wildflowers, and the playful squirrels he had watched darting up and down the trees. A sense of contentment washed over him. With a deep breath, the fox decided it was time to move on. He realized that there were plenty of other delicious things to eat in the forest, and that the grapes, tempting as they were not worth his frustration. He got up, shook off the dust from his fur, and continued his journey with a lighter heart. The fox wandered deeper into the forest, where he found a grove of apple trees. The apples were ripe and within easy reach. He enjoyed the sweet, crisp fruit, savoring every bite. As he ate, he felt grateful for the abundance of nature and the lessons it offered. As he explored further, the fox stumbled upon a hidden meadow filled with wild berries. He nibbled on the berries, appreciating their unique flavors. Each discovery made him realize how rich the world around him was, filled with simple pleasures and surprises. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the countryside, the fox found a cozy spot to rest. He curled up under a large oak tree, watching the sky change colors. The frustration of the grapes was a distant memory now, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction. The fox closed his eyes, feeling content with his day. He had learned that sometimes the things we desire most are out of reach, but there is always something else to appreciate if we just look around. With that thought, he drifted off to sleep, a peaceful smile on his face. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, the fox's story became a quiet lesson in contentment and gratitude. He had learned that true happiness comes from appreciating what we have, rather than yearning for what is just out of reach. And so, in the heart of the countryside, the fox's tale was remembered as a reminder to cherish the simple joys of life and to always find contentment in our journey. If you enjoyed this magical journey, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe.